DNY prosecutors warned by judge after admitting working with China to prosecute Miles Guo, CCP's most wanted man. On March 15, 2023, Miles Guo, a leading critic of the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, and founder of the new federal state of China was arrested by federal authorities in New York. Over 100 FBI agents raided his New York residence, handcuffed him, and then took him to court for interrogation on allegations of fraud. Suspicious circumstances surrounded the arrest. Hours after Guo was taken into custody, with presumably only FBI agents inside his home, a fire broke out and damaged the property. How does this happen without explanation with federal agents on his property? Were there documents they saw fit to destroy? Even days later, the origin of the fire is unknown, and its origins are getting more suspicious by the second it remains unexplained. Backlash from Guo exposing the corruption within the Chinese government forced him to flee to the US from China in 2014 due to political persecution for exposing the CCP's secrets. He's remained a thorn in the CCP's side since moving to the US, and they've gone into overdrive targeting him. Guo's arraignment on March 15 was presided over by Judge Catherine H. Parker. Apparently worried about the government withholding critical information favorable to an accused, Judge Parker informed New York prosecutors that they have a legal obligation, continuing in affirmative, to disclose to Mr. Guo any and all information that may help impeach a government-produced witness testimony and or is otherwise favorable to Mr. Guo, including their contacts with foreign governments or other contacts that may be conflicts of interest by any persons involved in the prosecution or investigation of Guo's case. The prosecutors were forced to admit in court in front of a federal judge that they had worked a lot with China during their investigation into Miles Guo. But the CCP, the lawless regime, has a vested interest in taking down Miles Guo. This alone completely obliterates any credibility the prosecution may claim to have. Not content with verbal warnings in court, Judge Parker entered a written order on March 16 explicitly laying out the government's disclosure obligations and warned of serious consequences for non-compliance. Judge Parker, identified as nonpartisan, has every reason to suspect the prosecutor's true intentions. Guo's enemies in America being linked to the CCP have been a common occurrence since he was forced to flee CCP persecution. The removal of Guo to China is a CCP priority that extends to its highest leadership. The arrest of Miles Guo is troubling for anyone who cares about judicial integrity and the rule of law. It is a stark reminder of the CCP's willingness to use any means necessary to maintain its grip on power and silence its opposition, oftentimes by infiltrating the US justice system. We should applaud Judge Parker for raising suspicions where promptly warranted. Indeed, the implications of the prosecutor's admission, that they are actively working with the CCP to prosecute Mr. Guo, are monumentally disastrous. So we have reason to ask, are there any Chinese law enforcement officers on American soil helping to prosecute Mr. Guo? What is the extent of the US government's collaboration with the CCP? Remember, the CCP is hell-bent on destroying America, and Mr. Guo just happens to be in the way.